Happy Monday, everybody. Today's workout, we are doing a couplet, so just two movements. It's going to be hard and fast. We're starting off with 15 burpees. After you're done your 15 burpees, you're going for 15 thrusters. For the 15 thrusters, we're going to pick a weight, so you can use a dumbbell, a kettlebell. If you have something a little bit heavier, that might be good, or you can even use a backpack, fill it with a little bit of weight. You want to be able to do all 15 unbroken, so you want to string them together without putting your object down, but you also want to find an object that's going to be challenging to do that with. We're doing it for 5 rounds. This workout should take you somewhere, if you're moving pretty good, you're going to get it done in about 10 minutes. If you're going a little bit more paced, you might be down to 15 minutes. But that's about the time you should be looking at to get this one complete. We want to get that heart rate going pretty good on this one. So this one is definitely going to be lots of cardio. I'm going to pass it over to Yash for today's afterburner.
All right, so today's afterburner, once you're done that WOD, you got 20 to 30 kipping handstand push-ups. You're going to use this as practice. So you don't have to necessarily bang these out all unbroken. If you have your kipping handstand push-ups, start messing around with some deficit and see if you can do that. Maybe get a little bit higher if you have any kind of platform. You can kind of get your hands a little bit higher off the ground. Give that a shot. But main focus is that kipping handstand push-up, making sure we get those mechanics down. We're nice and efficient with it before we start adding any deficits or making it any more challenging. So you'll see more details on that in the afterburner video. We'll see you guys next for the warm-up.
Okay guys, for our warm-up today, we are starting off with some alternating dead bug leg and arm raises. So we're doing this for a minute and we're gonna do 2 rounds of this. So we're gonna start off on our backs here in that dead bug. So head and neck relaxed, arms are gonna be up in the air, and then I'm gonna bring my feet up. I'm gonna try to keep my legs straight if I can, arms straight, and then I'm gonna alternate. As my right leg goes down, my left arm goes overhead. Never go too low where you start to overarch that back. You want that low back pressed into the floor the whole time. So we're again just switching from one side to the other. Notice how I'm doing this slow and control. I always find controlling this movement to be more beneficial, especially since we're just warming up that core. You're gonna do that for a minute, take a little break, and then you're gonna go for another minute. After you're done that, you're gonna go for 3 rounds, starting off with some bent over rows. There is a little adjustment in the normal bent over row because we're doing this from the deadlift position. So normally when we do bent over rows, we would have our object and we keep our legs relatively straight, maybe not fully locked out, but we keep them relatively straight. From here, we actually want to be in a deadlift position. So my shoulders are going to be just a little bit ahead of the object, my shins are going to be straight in the air, and of course my back is going to be flat. Notice how my head and neck is neutral, so I'm not looking straight, I'm looking in a neutral position, lengthening the top of my head, the crown of my head all the way down to the bottom of my spine. And I'm just going to squeeze those shoulder blades, pull my object in, and then back down. We're going for a set of 10 of those. Of course, I'm keeping my elbows tucked in tight to my body, and I'm trying to engage those upper back muscles at the top by squeezing them together. Once we're done that, we're gonna go for 8 tempo deadlifts. So for our tempo today, we don't actually have a time that we want you counting it out. We just want you guys going slow on the way down. So we're getting to that bottom of that deadlift position, head and neck neutral, push with the heels, open the hip. We're gonna squeeze that butt, rib cage is down, and then on the way down, nice and slow, we're gonna hinge at that hip, pushing it back. When your hands get about to knee position, we're gonna lower the rest of that movement with the legs. So remember, we're not just lifting with the legs, but we're lowering with the legs. You can stand up at a normal speed, go a little quicker. On the way down, we're really slowing it down. Once you're done 8 of those, you're gonna go for 6 hang muscle cleans per arm. So in the hang muscle clean, we're gonna start off by standing with our dumbbell. We're gonna push that hip back just like we did in a deadlift, but this time I am looking straight. My back and chest is a little bit taller. I'm going to think of squeezing my butt, driving my elbow up, and then catching my dumbbell on the shoulder. So again, hips go back, push my elbow up, catch it on the shoulder. Notice I'm not catching it in a dip position for now. We're just warming up with the muscle theme. You can do all 6 on one side, or you can alternate if you like. We're doing 3 rounds of that. We'll see you for the workout next.
Well, let's try to use just one object for those thrusters. So we're going to hold that in the front rack position. We're going to come down, again, nice and controlled, just like that smooth deadlift. Coming down with control on the way up. Be explosive with the hips and drive that object straight overhead. Make sure, again, with that squat on the way down, we're staying tall with those elbows, making sure they don't drop at the bottom. For those bar-facing burpees or that object-facing burpee, make sure you do the burpee in front of that object. As you come up, you guys can step, or you guys can bring both feet in to make that transition a little bit faster. So with that step in, it might be a little bit easier on the lungs, and it gives you a little bit more time to kind of recover there. Though, if you want to go a little bit faster, or you're in that end range, so you got that last minute to finish up those 15, let's say you got 5 more reps and you have only 15 seconds to go, that's kind of where you can quickly get some time. So bring your feet in, jump right over top of that object, and get ready for that next one. Alright, so we're here for the afterburner, guys. We're going to work on those handstand push-ups. So keeping handstand push-ups, always a fun movement here. I'm going to start off with some basic movements that you can start off with, which are more of a strict movement to get comfortable just in the descent. So before we get into the kipping handstand push-ups, you guys can also do 20 to 30 descents from a dive bomber or an Elsa position from the box. So I'm going to show you guys the box variation. You guys can go off your couch as well. So pretend that's a couch. You guys are going to put your feet on that elevated object. Walk your hands in so you can get into a nice L position as best as possible. Then from here, we're going to think about leaning a little bit forward, head in front of the hands, bring their head down, and then once you're done, you can drop your knees, and then reset again. We're going to focus just on that descent today, if you're not going to be going inverted against the wall, or if you're not comfortable kicking up to it quite yet. If you are comfortable, guys, for the kipping handstand push-up, it's always good to work on that descent as well. So even if you can't kick yourself up, let's work on just getting into that loaded position and getting ourselves ready to get up there. So personally, I like, with kipping handstand push-ups, keeping my knees out to the side, almost kind of like in a squat position, and keeping the soles of my feet close together. So I'll show you guys what that looks like. I'm gonna get inverted. Slowly come down, my head touches the mat, then I'm going to bring my knees in and kind of in like a frog stance with the soles of my foot kind of facing inwards. The reason for that, guys, it keeps your spine nice and straight, and gets you nice and in a good position and ready for your next rep there. If you bring your knees in a little bit too much, you get that roundedness in the back, so I want you to try to keep yourself nice and static the entire time, or nice and loaded throughout the spine. So think about kind of going a little bit wider with your feet. I'll show you guys that again. Getting loaded, head comes down to the back, bring those knees up, get into a nice wide stance, soles of the feet facing in. For the actual kick part of it, guys, once you're about to drive yourself up, first think about initiating through those legs, kicking hard towards the wall. As you get closer to that extension of the legs, push hard through your arms. So you kind of want to think about it like a push press. So once you're dipping down and you're going to get yourself up, just about before you start extending through the legs, you're going to start driving up to carry that momentum up. So kind of the same concept here, guys. Get into that handstand, nice controlled descent, frog stance, and drive hard towards the wall. And as I'm driving myself up, guys, I'm thinking about bringing my feet together to match up at the top. At the bottom, the knees can be nice and flat. Have fun with this one, guys. If you're not comfortable driving up, just work on the descent for now to get comfortable in that position. Hope the workout was great. We'll see you guys tomorrow.